Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Models, and this is where we left it off. Alright, so let's bring in our wall. So we've got our wall here. Let's bring it in. So I'm just going to slot that in there. And then all I want to do with the wall really is I want to make sure that it's just going to fit in place in really nice place. So I'm actually going to come to this square now and I'm actually going to delete it. And then what I'm going to do is just make sure that I'm happy where this wall's fitting. So you can see here, I need to pull it back a fair bit. And then you can also see that this top bit at the moment isn't really fitting in place either. So I'm just going to press delete. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch my wall now. So S and Z, pull it up, put it into place like so. Now we can also see that this bit here, so around here, isn't looking too good. We need another block of wood in here and we need probably another bit of wall. But before I do that, what I'll do is I'll press Shift D. I'll copy this wall and then what I'll do is I'll bring it over. And again, what I want to do is just make sure it's fitting in place. So I'll delete this block, delete it out of the way. And let's put it right in the center. Now we know this wall's high enough. So we're going to pull it out. So S and X, I think it was. Yes, it is. And let's pull it back, making sure it's in there nice and neatly, making sure it goes to the top. I'm going to also delete this out of the way. So delete. And there we go. There's our wall in. Now let's come to the top. I'm going to press Shift D. Bring it up. Press S and Z. Don't worry about the material or anything yet. Let's put it in. And what I'm going to do instead of deleting this out, because I still want this part, is I'm going to come into both of these, press Tab, and just grab the bottoms of them and just pull them up into place. Then what I can do is I can then pull this out. So S and X, pull it out. And then I'm going to press Shift D, drag it over. Press 1, S and X, pull it in, and then I'm going to slot that into place like so. Now we need a wall going into this part and a piece of wood. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our wooden blocks and we'll get a 2 meter one. Let's have a look. Is that going to be high enough? Maybe a 3 meter one. So we'll come to our 3 meters, spin it round. So R, Y, 90, and let's pick it up. We can see here it's going to be way too long, so we don't want that really. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to shrink it down now. So S, Z, shrink it down, put that into place like so. And now we can grab this wall, Shift D, R, Z, 90, spin it round. And let's put that in place, S and Y. Like so, and let's also make sure it's far enough in, like so. And then finally now let's come in and think about this part here. So we've got a little gap down here. Everything's fine on that. All we need to do now is get a piece of wall. So Shift D and bring that down and plop that into place within here. It's only a tiny bit, so we'll just put it into place like so. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the bottom of it with edge select. So make sure edge select is on, grab the bottom and then pull it down like so. Now we can see we have some problems. First of all, the wall all looks the same. We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come to this part, U, Smart UV Project, come to the next part. Individually is easier. And then finally this one. And then finally this one. Like so. All right, now we can see we're getting somewhere. Now this one still looks a little bit stretched. So I'm going to actually look in the UV map now by going to shading panel. I'm going to press Tab. And we can see the problem is here. They've not unwrapped correctly. So why is that? The reason is because we need to go in, grab them all, and then press Ctrl A, all transforms, right click, so origin to geometry, because Blender still thinks they're all the same. And instead of now, what I'll do is I'll grab them all, so A to grab them all, U, Smart UV Project, click OK, and now you'll see they've unwrapped all the same. Now all I can do is I can press S, pull them out, and get them, double tap the A to be the size that I want. Now I think at this point it's a good idea to make sure that our lighting's okay and see how we're getting on with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save out my work. I'm going to come over now to rendered view. It's in cycles, and I can't really see anything at the moment because the way that the sun is. So I'm going to come over to my world, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate around the sun rotation. So if I rotate this round slowly, now we're going to start getting a really, really nice view of what our actual building is going to look like. And you can see already it's looking fantastic. So now what we can do is we can just build up this front. So the next part is, if we go to Asset Manager, going to be wooden supports, but this time we don't want the ones that say angle, we want the ones that say straight. So we just need 3 of these laying out. So if I put 1, 2 and 3, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to place those on top of here. So if I grab the first one, I'm going to place it roughly in the same place as the other one. It doesn't need to be exact, it just needs to sit on top of this wooden plank part here. And the other thing is we need to make sure that these are stretched out a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it halfway in between. The same for this one. And do the same thing, like so. I'm going to make sure that it's not crossing over this before I actually make it a little bit longer. I'm going to put it into place like so. And then I'm going to grab this one now and do, in fact, we'll put that one halfway as well. Then I'm going to grab this one, put this one over here, like so. And then we're going to pull it up to here and making sure that it's going to go in place. Maybe something like that. And again, we can move these around as we want. Now I'm going to grab all 3 of these. I'm going to press 1. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to press S and Z and just pull them out a little bit. So they're sat on top of those points there. Now we can see that we do have a problem in that we need a piece of wood in here. So I'm going to grab this piece of wood here, Shift D. Let's bring it up. Let's put it in place. We can see we need a bit of a difference in length. So S and Z, pull it out like so. Let's pull it into place. Maybe a little bit further back, because we have to remember that we haven't got our walls in yet. So maybe just leave it there like so. Now on this time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come to this one. I'm going to come to face select. I'm just going to delete this face out of the way because I want to keep the rest of this here. It's okay down here, we have a good idea, but up here I think we should keep it a little bit easier for ourselves. So I'm just going to put it like that, and I'm just going to get rid of the top as well because I don't really need that. Now on this one I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. So I'm going to come in, grab this side and the top, delete faces like so. And then what I'm going to do now is, again, I'm going to grab my wall. So both of these walls, because they're roughly the right size. And then what I'm going to do is press Shift D and bring them up into place. Now we can see we need to make them a little bit longer. So S and Z, let's make them a little bit longer. And the thing is with the walls, they're easier to place because you can just actually stick them into the wood like so. And we need to make sure that they're also a little bit out of here because the wood's going to be on top of there as well. Now let's grab both of these walls now. So if I grab them both, go to shading, and then what I'm going to do is press tab, and now what I'm going to do is just move them around like so. And now what will happen is they will look different from these walls down here, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Double tap the A, and there we go. There's what we've got so far. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually carry on. We're going to build all the way up to the top here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do some other things to the front just to make it look a little bit different and things like that. And then I think we'll build around this side, and then finally we'll start actually making, I think, some windows just to keep it, you know, a little bit of variation and things. All right, so also we can build this bit out as well. This is a little bit different apart from the roof, but I think we'll leave that till we've built out this other top part up here. Okay, everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to save out my file. So file, save, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.